All is
Good
good.
man.
I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Ready to go. Ready to go. Here we
Back. Football's back.
Thank God.
Hey, how are we going to look today, boys? Just give us a short summary. Actually, before we get into that, let me get into something really quick. Breaking news this morning. Here we go. Big Ange is gone. 8 games. Apps, I don't know you boys seen this, but he is gone already. The poor bloke. Will he get another gig in the UK? I don't know. Oh, mate.
I think
poor bloke.
you kind of on the chat we have, Adam, I think I posted it probably when he was appointed that he's probably got 3 months in the chair. So it's no great surprise. But yeah,
I think it was announced.
Like all the managers, he'll get another one. He'll get another job, and he'll probably get fired from that, and he'll get some more compensation, and it's just a merry-go-round that goes right around the league. It's bizarre, but people fail and they keep getting picked back up again. It's wish it happened in my line of work.
It's a hard club to manage with that owner. He's very cutthroat.
They announced it 10 minutes after the game finished.
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, crazy.
10 minutes. That's ruthless, man. He wouldn't have even had a chat to the boys at the end of the game. I don't reckon.
The dressing shed after the game.
Yeah, it's a bit like Louis Van Gaal, wasn't it? After the FA Cup, didn't they let him know straight after it?
I think that's the United story. But he was told the day before, or the news was out the day before that he'd gone. Clearly no one can keep a secret. But in this case, seemingly they told him straight afterwards, whether it was in the tunnel or. It'd be interesting to see the interview with the guy. The interview in the tunnel after the game, whether he's got his P45 in his hand at the time, or he's just been told. But it could be a very interesting interview.
Yeah, most certainly. Okay, let's get into Liverpool v Manchester United. Well, what a game! Are Liverpool going to lose 4 in a row? Can United win away from home? It's a huge game, 100th competitive game. Does this fixture still carry the same fire as past years, boys? Does it carry on? Big Mikey?
I guess so, right? Like in the idea that like I'm anxious for the game. I'm anxious. It's been on my mind all week. I hate this fixture. I hate it because form goes out the window. Form goes absolutely out the window with this. United could be in first and Liverpool could be 8th, or we could be in 15th and they could be in first. It doesn't matter. There's so many moments. You can look at the Diego Forlan moment. You can look at all these different moments. There's 7-0 Drummond as recently, it's always bound to be something. I would like to think, and this is as an American, of course, I like to think it's the biggest derby in football. Like for me, it's bigger than El Clasico. It's bigger than the Tyne-Wear. It's bigger than Second Cities. It's bigger than all that to me. But can I say maybe the way the game's played now is different, and how it's not bone crunching and as dirty as physical as it used to be. Yeah, that element of it is gone for sure. But it's all the same. We want to beat these guys bad. We had a Scouser on our show last night. And we, we're still taking the piss out of him, telling him he's stealing our internet and all kinds of stuff. It's great.
Quite right, too.
Yeah. Paul, I imagine you've been to a few Liverpool Manchester United games. Don't know if you've been to Anfield and watch it, but I imagine you may have. What are they like? Yeah. Everything like that when you arrive.
I mean, it's always. I think going to Anfield, it was always one of those games that you knew you always had to be on your guard. Walking from Lime Street down in the police escort and all of that kind of stuff. I was thinking about this before. Probably the first time I went was the classic. I think it was a 3-3 draw in the late 80s. It was an Easter Monday where. Strachan equalised towards the end and smoking the cigar towards the cop. But what a lot of people don't know is there was a big contingent of United fans on the cop that day. They didn't make it all ticket, so it was it was all pay at the gate to stand in the United end. So we got there probably 2 hours before kickoff, and it was full. It was locked out, and there was this big Scouse copper on a horse. And basically, he sort of looked down with discontent at all the United fans that stood around who couldn't get in, and said, basically, lads, you've got two choices. You can either F off back to Manchester, or you can, if you're big and brave, you can pay to go in the Kop. So there was this big collective shrug of shoulders, and everybody trudged down to the Kop and paid their money to get in, because it was pay at the gate for them too, and none of them were around. They were obviously still burgling or stealing people's internet in those days. So we had a big corner, and probably 10 minutes in, the police were trying to get United fans out. And it was all sort of push and jostle and everything. But Robson scored after about 2 minutes, and our little section of probably 500 to 1,000 went absolutely crazy, and there was no way we were getting out of there. We were stuck for the whole game. So it got a bit easier when we were 3-1 down, but then Whiteside came on, and I think it was McMahon nobbled within about 30 seconds of coming on. And one of those tackles, Mikey, that doesn't happen anymore. He'd be straight off after probably about 30 seconds of walking on as a sub. Clearly he had one intention, and that was to stop McMahon playing, which he did. And then we got a goal back, and then Strachan scored with I don't know, maybe 10 minutes to go, and that will always be a very, very special memory to me. As
many of the boys trying jib Anfield.
I don't remember that. I just remember kind of being amongst a lot of people that were a lot bigger than me, and thinking, they're going to get to me. They're going to have to get through these guys first. But yeah, I remember that, and it was probably the game that or I always thought that a lot of people seem to think that Ferguson was the right man for the job. I think afterwards he took paces towards Dalglish in the tunnel afterwards, and they nearly had a punch up, because I think Fergie said that he came to Anfield and was choking on his own vomit or something like that, and Dalglish was waving. I think it was Kelly Dalglish. She was waving her at him and saying, "You get more sense out of the baby than you do out of this guy." And it was just had a bit of everything, and it really felt like it had that edge of a match. And sure, as Mikey says, it's died down over the years, but I don't think I've ever seen United win at Anfield. I've probably been maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, Elliot. I'm going to bring up Elliot's predicted lineup so we can get into this. Here we go, Elliot. Here we go. The floor is yours. Elliot's predicted 11. Go through it, Elliot, and let us, boys, if it's any controversy, get into it.
I just think the team stays pretty unchanged from the win against Sunderland. I think there was a lot of good stuff in that first half. We saw, I think we saw a bit more freedom from Bruno Fernandes, because Mason Mount was able to tuck in when Bruno sort of bombed forward. I think, and there's not been any injuries come back from international break. I think the team stays relatively unchanged. Probably the only question mark I do have is probably Casemiro's travel. And maybe we won't get a full game out of him, and Ugarte probably comes on sort of into the second half. But I think why would you change a team when you want to build momentum and start actually putting some wins together? In my opinion, you wouldn't want to change that team. I've gone with the same team that started against Sunderland, more or less.
I agree with that too. I think Mason Mount's pretty much a lock-in for that spot after his performance against Sunderland, especially after the goal. And the way he does with his legs tracking back, especially if Bruno pushes forward, as you said, he covers that space quite well. It's just a matter of whether, when we do the substitutes, who comes in for who. If we keep the same type of balance in the squad. Like when Casemiro goes off about, 60 minutes, probably you'd say, for Ugarte. Is it the same? Yeah. Because Mount gets subbed off is Cunha back in the squad? Is he back?
Yeah, he will be. But he played for Brazil, and I still don't think he's fully fit. And to be honest, bringing him, you want that, especially in a game like this. You want someone who's going to come off the bench and impact the game, and he could probably do that.
Especially with the legs, he's got the pace, the drive, everything going towards hopefully a tired-ish back four that they're going to have. He's just going to run at them, which I quite like about him.
It's a big thing, isn't it? Really, in this game, we do need the pace in the back. Look, I'm not sure about probably Luke Shaw being there. We do need that some pace on the left hand side. Whether he's going to fall, like the last big game we had, Luke Shaw fell away a little bit there. I mean, you got Delott there. I suppose that can cover a bit. It sort of worries me, Shaw and Delott there. I'd like to see probably Mazarawi. Is he back in? I'm not sure. So
He's still injured.
he's
not
out
fit.
still.
No.
Yeah. So
he's not fit,
that left hand side for us is a little sketchy. I'm sure Mason Mount will try and drop in as well a little bit, which I don't want him doing too much defensive work because we do need him working with Sesko and Mbumo. Yeah. So, look, the other side of Ahmed and Euro, like, you got plenty of pace there, which is – I love that. So maybe Bruno has to work a little bit more defensively there. Delit may have to cover Shaw a bit more. I don't know. It's that's the part that worries me. Look, Gappo's been probably their main player, Liverpool, at the moment. Salah's been on a little bit of a down, which is always works well for United, but he's a gun against United, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he scored like 15 goals against United. He scores every single game.
He's the type of player to have a quiet 85 minutes and score a double. But that's the way he is. Like he actually, Salah's not like he's a great player, but he has a lot of quiet games. He just has big moments in games all the time. He just always pops up. I think a good one for us is going to be Mbumo versus that Kirkes at left back for them if he's playing, because he's been a bit shaky this season, especially he pushes up very high for Liverpool and they get caught. Virgil van Dijk's very good at covering, but Konate's out for them. So whether they bring Joe Gomez in, the young centre-back they've signed from Italy, he's out with an ACL, I believe. So I don't know who the other centre-back's going to be, but if we can get Kirkes to push up and Mbumo can kind of play in like a cheat spot where he plays a little bit higher, doesn't track all the way back, if we can get him on a quick transition and switch the ball over to that side and get Mbumo running at Van Dijk or whoever the centre-back is, then you get Sesko running off him, you can create a lot of problems there. Because you can always make it a 3v3 on the counter.
Yeah, look, I think I think we need to test the keeper. Alisson's obviously out injured, so they've got the big Macedonian keeper in.
Quality.
He's still unproven, and we need to get. And I think if we get at that back four, it's a very disjointed back four. You've even seen like Soboslai play right back for Liverpool this year in some games as well. So I just think I don't actually know who their back four is going to be. But to be honest, I think the pressure building is more on Liverpool than it is on us. This is a game where we can probably go and play with a bit of freedom and with a bit of weight off our shoulders.
It's like a free hit almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's a good time for us to play them, especially at Anfield. Liverpool four losses on the bounce if they get beat by us beat by us in the morning. Whereas and I think that the pressure of that's probably a lot bigger. Than us. We've just come off a win and we've sort of wanted to start stringing some wins together. I think this game and how it's sort of, I guess, stemmed up. It's in our favour.
Yeah, I've got Jazz Vamp. I'll bring up his question here. We were probably not going to go with Ahmed because Amram will probably try to shut up shop. What are your thoughts, Paul?
I don't know. I mean, I think like with going to Anfield, you've got to get a foothold in the game. Whether he goes to get a foothold in the game, where a lot of pressure is going to fall on De Ligt, and no one's mentioned the keeper, Lemens, the keeper. That obviously they're going to want to put pressure on him, but he's going to need a strong performance. He's going to have to make saves. But whether he goes with Ahmad early and takes him off, or whether once the foothold is made, once we've got a foothold in the game, we've got 0-0 at half time, or we've got 0-0 with 20 minutes to go. Whether he decides he's going to throw Ahmad on and have a pop, I guess it depends how the game's going. If we have got that foothold and we're creating chances and Liverpool are struggling, or if the crowd's on our back, the crowd's got behind the Liverpool and they're pushing on. It's difficult to know until you see his initial team sheet. It's hard to say what approach he's going to take. But I don't imagine at this stage Amarim's thinking he's going to go out there and win 3 or 4-0. It's going to be a tight. If we're going to win, it's going to be by the odd goal, probably the odd goal in one.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Amarin always comes out with, if you watch his press conference, he's came out with maybe when we're not expected to win, it's easier for players to perform. Is that mentally the problem? So, look, I think Amarin's will go into this game confident. Like, we have gone all right against some of the big teams since he's been in. So it's more the smaller teams that we're having the issue with.
Yeah, it's because we're good on transition.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I think we go good against the bigger teams, because they hold the ball a bit more. We're a lot quicker at breaking out. When we verse the so-called smaller teams and we've got to hold the ball, we tend to get caught, like, man for man at the back. Kind of happened against Brentford with the long ball to Harry Maguire. On the transition, the second phase, we're just completely out of the game. That's why I think against Liverpool, we're going to hold the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to try and press high and stuff. If you can beat the first line press, you can almost get them 3v3 at the back with our 3 up front. But it'd be nice to actually be the dominant team on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Actually be driving the game forward, not kind of sitting back waiting for our chance to pop on the counter. But I guess that's kind of the squad we've got.
Yeah, I mean the player that often does seem to be able to get through the shoulder, get through the quick challenges is Mainu. You see him doing it and breaking that line, and then suddenly there's something on. Again, whether he decides to go early or late, I can see him playing a part, and I suspect possibly in a similar way to Ahmad, you might see a double change if Ahmad's on the bench, that those two might come on if we're thinking that we've got a chance of nicking the 3 points late on, that you might see those two.
Yeah, my biggest concern is our midfield too, right? Because if on their day, I mean, I know this Liverpool side is struggling, but they have players, they have quality, and they'll be able to beat us. They'll be able to beat us on quality alone, right? Where we'll have to find a third and fourth and fifth gear to get into that we haven't normally been able to get into for the last 2 years, especially under this coach. Not to be negative, but I got to say it. I'm not happy with this too. Casemiro has shown us that he's a renegade. His legs are gone in certain points. That he will resort to the hard crunching tackle and get himself sent off, or at least on the yellow early, and we'll be watching him the rest of the game to see what's going to happen. God forbid he puts in Ugarte. I absolutely do not rate Ugarte whatsoever as far as passing goes. I don't think he can pass.
He's liable to do that, though. He's dead set. He's liable to do that. He's liable to throw Ugarte and Casemiro in together.
Yeah, not a fan of Ugarte. I'm hoping he could turn it around. Of course, you don't want to slag off the players too bad, but got to call a spade is what they say. And the midfield too worries me. All it takes is that we've seen it in the past. Elanga's done it with just a fast player, 1v1, catching somebody on a break and going a one ball over the top if we're pressing high. Right. And we tend to do that when we feel good about us having the ball for a long period of time. We start to get a little high and a little big for our britches. And then all it takes is one man with some tech to put it over the top of us and some pace. And now we're 1v1. And hopefully our keeper's a little better that can mitigate that issue now. But I don't know, man. That's the biggest worry I have for us, is that too. I just don't like it. I don't know why he's like hell bent on keeping it, but it's not for me.
Mm-hmm. I think overall, you've got two teams that are lacking confidence. So when in my opinion, it could end up a 0-0 draw. Two conservative teams lacking confidence. I mean, I'd take a point at Anfield, but I guess you've got Liverpool, who have spent like big money in the transfer window, and just we've not really seen anything from their big signings yet. They're still gelling, I guess. Isaac and Ekitike competing for that spot. Salah's not performing, and then you've got that young German kid who came for big money. He's not really done much. And then for us, I think we're that second game after a win. is like we're gonna feel a little bit lacking of confidence going into the game because it's pressure of winning that second game. I think so. Yeah, it could end up a 0-0 draw. I really think so.
I think that Florian Wirtz, a young German guy for Liverpool, I think this is the type of, I hate to say it, this is the type of game that he will actually probably come alive in a bit if we don't like isolate his space, because he's the type of player to pick up pockets between the back four and the middle three. He finds a little space in between, and a lot of Liverpool's teams that played this year have actually been a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. So he's been kind of, wouldn't say man marked out of the game, but he's been isolated into these little tiny pockets where he can't actually get on the ball as much. But with the two in midfield of Bruno and Casemiro, Liverpool have also got Gravenberch, who is just legs in the middle. Whether they play someone like Endo at the 6 or they bring in Slobosai, whatever you say his name, into the midfield, then what two do you pick up and who do you leave?
I've just got Casey here. He's written, I'm excited to see what Liverpool does against our two-man midfield. I can't say I'm excited, mate.
Not excited. Not excited.
I am excited, that's for sure. There's going to be a shit ton of nerves going into this game, especially against our midfield. Mate, I wish I had that faith that I'm excited about seeing the way they're going to work their midfield against ours. It's one thing I'm not excited about.
Yeah, I think as Mikey says, sorry, as Mikey says, it's that yellow card thing plays into it because there's always a few tackles going around, and if Gravenberch or one of their guys picks up a yellow early on, then they're riding that knife edge as well, and then potentially they've got to make changes. So yeah, the yellow cards in a game like this always come into it, and down the line, in history there's always been a few reds popping around as well. So it's a big factor. And who knows? So hopefully, it isn't that Casemiro picks one up after 2 minutes, and then we've got to start considering making that change, and then getting upset at half time when he's just been sent off, and we're suddenly down at 10 men for 45 minutes, which nobody wants to see. But it's got to be in Amram's mind.
I've got one of my mates.
Shouts to Casey. He's our our resident LA Red. We had a good show yesterday. Shouts to Casey.
Brilliant. Welcome to the pod, Casey. I've got one of my mates who's when I say mates, he's a Liverpool supporter, but he's a nutter like us. I got him into doing a cave for himself and everything like that, and he's like gets over to, like, they won the league last year, got over to the bus trip and everything like that, and went to a few games. He does it regularly, so he's not just one of these Aussie fans that just live in the past. He goes for it all. So just listen to what Rob's got to say, and there we go. Sorry, at the stage.
Well, Adam, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to join your podcast and do a quick voiceover. I wanted to share my thoughts. You never walk alone. And I guess it's time to talk about the biggest match of the season so far. The biggest rivalry. Liverpool taking on our arch rivals Man United at Anfield this weekend. I know the energy will be electric, and we're definitely expecting a thriller. I still remember being on a high last season, going over there and watching them lift the trophy against Crystal Palace. And with the big money signings we've made, I thought it would be unstoppable, but it hasn't been smooth sailing as I would have hoped. To be honest, I'm a bit concerned about our current form. Our defence has been shocking. We've had some issues, Canada not being himself, and our wing backs haven't been stepping up to the occasion, but I believe in our players. Florian Wirtz and Isaac will come good. It's only a matter of time. They're world-class talents, and I'm sure they'll bounce back. And let's be real, Mo Salah always seems to find a way against Man United. So I'm hopeful we'll turn things around and overturn our recent bad form. But I'm not getting ahead of myself, that's for sure. Man United, hey, what can I say? We'll be up for the occasion. It's definitely going to be a tough game. I think Slot needs to go back to Klopp's playing style. That high intensity pressing, quick counter-attacks could cause Man United's defence a lot of trouble. My prediction, a tight game, Liverpool 1-0. I think we'll grind out a win, but it definitely will be a tough one. I'm not going to lie, I'm not overly confident, but I've got a good feeling about this one. Let's get ready to enjoy a spectacle. You'll never walk alone. Go, you mighty.
All right, that's enough, Rob. See you later.
What's funny is a lot of the Liverpool support that I've talked to, that I've seen on different shows, or even the guy we had on yesterday, are all saying the same thing. They expect to grind out a win. They're being very like humble and like trying to damage control beforehand. Like, oh yeah, we're not the same. We could just get one. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That's one thing they haven't done this season. It's grinded out a win. They haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so I'm not hearing that shit.
No. Yeah.
As Dean's comment, won the league, spent $500 million and still not confident.
So we've got Dino on Instagram. He's sledging Liverpool like nothing else at the moment, which is fantastic. Soon enough, we'll get Dino on, and he'll be a great addition to this channel. So where do we go from here, boys? Look, we've got Casemiro. We're just talking about Casemiro and his legs and things like that. And for mine, I'm not confident with our midfield. And where do you see, like, well, the person that does worry me is Gakpo. So I've got Gakpo's stats here, and I want to talk about Bruno as well. I want to talk about both of them, how we need Bruno to step up and everything like that. So I'm just going to throw Gakpo's stats up here. So, look, he's created chances in open play is in the Premier League is like second. What have we got? Chances created, third. Line break passes. So he's real at fifth. His touches, assistance, shots. You know, he's really stepped up this season. Whenever he came off the bench last year against United, he always stepped up. So it seems to be a fixture that he really enjoys. It's tough for me. I want to see that right hand side just absolutely have him in his pocket. I'm confident with Euro doing a job on him. What are your thoughts? Anyone?
I think Yoro's got him. Yoro's got a good idea. Sorry, Paul.
No, you go.
I think Yoro's been a very consistent defender this year. Yes, he missed out on that one game. He made like a little bit of an error, but you know, he's been pretty consistent across the board since he's come to us. I think he'll do a job there. And you know, I do think that, you know, Ahmad will start the game and will provide that defensive cover as well. And I think, you know, we're focusing so much on Gakpo on the left-hand side, and I think United will as well. But then, you know, you're forgetting that Mo Salah has had a quiet season, but all it takes is for him to have a sniff, and I think that's my concern is the right-hand side and Salah, because like your mate said, Adam, he always seems to find a way against us, and I hate players like that when they play against us.
Well, I hate Gakpo as well, because he was supposed to sign for us, wasn't he, about a season and a half ago? He was linked for about 6 months with us, and then Liverpool go and pick him up, and he started slow for him, but he's coming into his own, especially on that left-hand side now, because he can go either way. Like, he's just got that. He can go on his left, he can go on his right, and I think that's where I'm glad that hopefully it is Euro marking him, because if you do get that step ahead of Euro, he's got the pace to catch back up and just get in front of the player, keep goal side all the time, which I think is going to be important. But it'll be interesting to see whether they, with Isaac up top, with Gakpo and then Salah on either side, is Isaac going to play more as a target 9, or is he going to try going behind? Because Isaac for Liverpool was pretty lethal when he used to sit in like a left-hand channel. He used to have like Gordon out on the outside of him who used to touch the sideline, but Gakpo doesn't really go to the sideline. He kind of stays quite narrow. He's more of like an inside forward. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how those three actually link up together. Hopefully we pocket them all, to be honest.
My problem with it is like players doubling up on Salah. I don't want to see that. I want to be able to have confidence on Shaw and Delot doing a job on him. Like the last thing you need is, and I can already see it. Delot getting beaten. Shaw's now 1v1. Then Delete has to come across, cover him. Gakpo's free in the middle, or it goes back post to anyone there. It's just an absolute nightmare. You can just vision it now. I don't want to try and predict things before the game, but yeah, you're right. You're 100% right, Elliot. We're focusing on their left-hand side, and the danger for me will always be on that right-hand side, especially when you got Shaw and Delot maybe working together. If that's the case,
the midfield runner will be the extra man. The extra man runner coming deep will be an issue if we get 1v1 on either side, right? So like you have a Szoboszlai, you have a Gravenberch that comes in. Bruno likes to fall asleep in these positions. Like I forget what game it was. He fell asleep and blamed it on Euro, and Euro didn't play. He didn't start another 2 games after that or something like that. Bruno has to be aware. He has to know that he has to take up a more defensive role now, even though I think he does a good job of hustling. The work rate is there. Is he a defensive stalwart? No, right? Like he's not a defender at heart. He's a 10, right? We all know that. But like he needs to step up his game. How well we do is going to be predicated on how Bruno is on both sides of the ball, whether him being the catalyst and playing a clean ball in through for everybody, or recovering back and defending and not being rash and weird and out of position. So I think a lot of which has been the theme for us in the last few years, at least the 5 years he's been here. We live and die on what Bruno's going to be able to do here. And that's going to be the theme for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think one of the things that frustrates me about Bruno is when he loses the ball in our own final third. He picks the ball up, takes maybe 2 steps, has a look, and then 2 players are on him. Their press kicks in, and then he loses the ball, and then suddenly we've got a major problem because players have broken out. That's potentially going to be an issue today. But I think. We could talk about all the players, but I think if it's going to be a tight game, if it is going to be a tight 1-0, then it's probably going to be a moment of magic from somebody that's going to win it, that's going to break that down, and whether that is Gakpo for them, whether it's Salah for them. Historically, you probably say it is Salah that's going to produce that moment. You wonder, and I wonder who for us is going to produce that moment, who's capable of producing that one moment of magic. And you've got to look at whether it is Ahmad coming on late, whether it's Maino that's going to break it down. We've not seen enough of Sesko yet to know if he's that man that can do that. So you'd say the moments of magic are probably more on their side than ours, but who knows? It's got to be in someone's locker. Someone's got to produce it, and I hope it's one of us.
Hopefully, whoever it is who's taking the penalties. Could be just a penalty. Could be a penalty.
I'll bring up Bruno's stats here. So here we go. Chances. Look, you can't honestly. You look at the Premier League ranking for 25-26. It's first and second, basically in nearly every category.
I hope Yanni's not watching this.
He'd be loving this. Seriously,
it would be.
Created. Look, a lot of these stats I don't rate at all because, at the end of the day, we need to be finishing off, whether he's creating chances and that. And I'll always claim that he needs to play higher up the pitch. I just think him sitting so deep with Casemiro, it's just not going to work. But the more I think about it, the more I think Mikey's right, even though he doesn't want it. I think Ugarte may start. So, you got chance created first, and he's created 19 chances. So, we need to be taking these chances, and it may all come together at Anfield. It may all come together at Anfield for us. I think as a team, we're number 1 in creating chances as well. We're just not taking them. So, fingers crossed that it all comes together for us.
Yeah, and why? That's a great point. Like, why are we not taking them? What is it? Are the chances he's creating? I don't know. Is the ball bouncing across the box? He's not putting the ball exactly where the player wants it. I don't know. Is it Bruno's fault that we're missing these chances? Probably not. He's putting the ball in the right places, and our guys, for whatever reason, are putting it 10 feet over wide, hitting the keeper. It's fascinating, really, why we don't. But if you look at stats, you can look at stats all day. At the end of the day, it's goals in the back of the net and points in the table that we need, and we're desperate for them. But yeah, it's he's certainly. You can't say that Bruno's not performing in terms of stats.
I've got a bit of a special guest. Dean wanted to be added. I don't know what he's got for us, but Dean Garden from Brisbane, Manchester United Supporters Club. I'm adding him to the. So he's
USA.
Right, so mate. Thank you, Dino.
Random.
Yeah. That's what we do here. If anyone wants to come on and do something random, get on.
And now he gets blocked.
Dino will never be blocked.
He's too good in the comments.
He's throwing the spanner in. I'm going to need to regroup again here. Yeah. So anyway, back to Bruno. Look, I think if he steps up, Elliot, I think you're right. I don't know if we do get a pen, who's going to take it. I think, you know what? I think Bruno will want to take it again. He's that type of player. He'll want to take it. And I think he'll put it away. Has he missed 2 in a row?
Yeah.
That was 2 in a row, wasn't it?
No, he's missed 2 this season, I think.
Yeah, he's just missed 2 this season, yeah.
3 this season. Is it Elliot?
Did he miss one in the... I thought he missed... I had a feeling he missed 3.
3, yeah. See, I like the idea of the striker taking the ball and having the pen. Like, I like the idea of your number 9, every time you get a penalty, just getting the ball, putting it down and smashing it in the back of the net. I know it's not the way it is now, but if we got a penalty and Chesko scored at Anfield, imagine his confidence for the next few games, knowing that he's just scored against Liverpool at Anfield, and we win the game from that.
Yeah,
but he's not. You'd have
a
take it, wouldn't you? What was that ball?
Maguire's got a good record from the spot. Stick him on and usually puts him top right-hand corner.
Hey, he can't even penalty.
I know Bruno's missed a few, but he's only missed 7 in his 5 years with us in the Premier League. So he's still up there, but
yeah, I don't know. I understand him or Mbeumo taking the penalties because of their record and how calm they are with the ball when they walk up to the ball and they wait for the keeper to move and all that stuff. But there's something about an old-fashioned number 9 picking up the ball, putting it on the spot, running back and just drilling it into the bottom corner.
Is that what we're really looking for here, though, to win on a penalty? Like, seriously,
I can get it.
Look, I know we're talking about Mason Mount starting, but, we bought a player in Cunha. So, I don't want to say... No, I do. I want Cunha to start. I don't want Mount to start because we need our players with confidence here. We need our players with confidence.
We need a slick player that can move the ball and have a little bit of like technical ability. Like I love Mason Mount. Don't get me wrong. Like hair form, but like the guy's a battery. He's gonna run around, he's gonna give you work rate, and he could disappear in a game very fast. We need the Cunha of Wolves of last year, right? That scored a banger against Liverpool, right? The last time he played. We need the guy to quick touch, get around, pass the ball around, slick, can move the ball in between. The ball stays at his feet. He has pace. He can beat a man 1v1. We need that Cunha, and I think because he's injured, we're not gonna get that. He's still injured. We rushed him back from that hamstring. Yeah, like he's not ready to be that guy. But we've seen it in glimpses here and there. I think if he is fit, he starts that game and he can give us something a little bit more than Mason Mount. Don't get me wrong.
I think
I've been one of his vocal. Like I haven't been a fan of Mason Mount for a while. So people will say that see this. They're like, oh yeah, there he goes again on Mason Mount. But like he's been doing well as of late. But Cunha is the future. I want to see that future.
100% is the future. I want to see Cunha start.
I want to see them front 3 together all the time. I want to see Mbeumo, Chesko, and Cunha every game starting. But I don't think you're going to get that in this game
It's not the game. It's not the game to bring him back in my opinion. It's not the game.
I think they run at them though. But I'd like to say, imagine Cunha running at a Virgil van Dijk 1-on-1 and getting around him.
So why isn't Cunha the person to start? Why, Elliot?
Because he's not fit.
He's not 100% fit.
He's not
Korea.
He still didn't play both. He played both games, but he didn't play full 90 minutes. That's the other thing as well you've got to consider. He's travelled back from Asia. They've trained 1 day.
Amron did mention that.
Yeah, Mason Mount has trained with the team during the international break. You've got to go with the team that is able to achieve momentum, and that's why I put Mount in my starting 11. And it also gives. If Cunha has that attacking mindset, which is great, and he's great at it, but in a game like this against Liverpool, if Bruno's going floating forward, you're going to want someone who's got a little bit more nous about him to think, okay, Bruno's gone forward, I'm going to drop in here just in case we're exposed on the counter attack and we're 2 against 1 in the midfield. I just think. It's not the game to bring Cunha back in. He'll come back in and he'll hit form and he'll do well, and I've got no issue with that. But I still think that the team that played and started against Sunderland and achieved that 2-0 at halftime starts this game.
I think you'll reward Mason Mount with another start because of the goal and the performance against Sunderland. I also think, though, like I always go back to this, a 4-3-3 with Mason Mount as the 8 and Bruno as a 10, or if you put Manu in there as the 8 and Bruno as a 10, and then you had Cunha and Buemo and Sesko up top. That's my ideal formation and setup.
Yeah.
I don't think Mason Mount has actually scored against Sunderland, against Liverpool on a counter-attack. The pace probably isn't there to run at them with the ball, but he is there more for cover. So I do understand what you're saying, Elliot, with that. I think that's why he's
And I think when you're going for the game, let's say like Paul's suggesting, you've got a foothold in the game and we're 0-0, it's 60 minutes. Are you going to be, and we're bringing Mason Mount on, or we bring in Mateus Cunha on to go for the game when the players are a bit leggy? I would want to be bringing Cunha on and going for the game, and he's the right player to bring on off the bench when the players are leggy. Yeah. And could probably do something in that part of the game, especially when he's not fully fit.
No, do you reckon Andy Robertson starts left back or Kirkes for them? Because that would change how high they're going to put. Like
50-50. Could both the left backs.
Would you running at Andy Robinson, wouldn't you? Imagine that. At the later stage of the game.
Kirkes has not been great. He's not been great for Liverpool. So. Yeah,
I don't know. It's one of those cases. I don't even know what's going to happen.
But that's another one, isn't it? Like Amron trying to outsmart Slot tactically, like that's a match in itself. Just trying to work out which one's going to out tactic each other. I'm looking forward to that one actually.
Tom right here says Robertson will start. I think Slot won't trust Kirkes. I think they start Robbo too. I think they go with him. Yeah. He has some experience in this derby. So you put him in, and instead of the struggling Kirkes, just on experience alone.
Especially if Liverpool start to get a bit under the pump with counterattacks and things like that from us, I think Andy Robertson's experience and composure just to get on the ball, just slow the game down so they can get back into it. I think for them, he'd be a smart choice to start, but I hope we're 4-0 up at half time and it doesn't matter who they've got on the field. Positive voice.
The thing about it is if we're 4-0 up, I'm still not confident of winning. Far out. All right, boys. Look, we're 45 minutes in. I think we've covered just about everything. It's been a great pod. I've enjoyed Jordan being in the cave. I really have. It's been really good. 2.5 hours to get here, and we're off to a card show. Today we're going to go get some footage of Jordan buying some cards, and it's always fingers crossed whether there's football stuff out there at every card show. Neon do a great job out there. I see Ian Cosley just joined us on Instagram, which is fantastic. So, yes, Dino, Breakfast was ready for the boys when they got here. Bacon and eggs and a juice.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, always ready. Whenever you come visit a breakfast pods or breakfast games, always get breakfast. So before we go, I want to put up this as well. This is Brisbane's got a five-a-side charity match on. They've had two teams just pull out recently. So anyone up on the Gold Coast that's watching us, put a team in. Mate, it's going to a great cause. Direct Inject has sponsored the event. It's $30 per player, 6 to 10 players per team. It's on the 25th of October. I wish I was getting up there. They do a great job, Brisbane Supporters Club. So get behind them if you're up there. Get your mates together. Go and play in this 13th annual charity five-a-side tournament. It's up at Redlands. I've been up there. It's a great spot up there. They always have their Munich Memorial match up there. So that's another one that's coming up in February that they always do, and we will promote it here. I went up for it last year. Absolutely fantastic event Brisbane put up there. They are the leaders when it comes to events and stuff like that. I know our supporters club here in New South Wales are getting a fair few things together, which is fantastic as well. So Tom does a great job also on our charity games and stuff like that. So it's good to have Brisbane and New South Wales working together. Maybe New South Wales one day might put a five-a-side team together and go up there and play in this Redlands tournament over the weekend, which would be a fantastic thing.
Couple of late tackles on Dino.
Should do a state of origin.
Dino doesn't play, and I won't play either because I get white line fever. So my ending will probably be a game against Liverpool where I'm out to hit someone. So yeah, so thank you, Paul. Paul came on late, which is fantastic. It's always great to have his knowledge on. And Elliot, fantastic. Big Mikey, stay safe. And, mate, thank you again for coming on. We'll try and work it out. So we've got a few of your boys that come on. Get over to Mikey's podcast. I'll throw it to you, Mikey, to promote your podcast, mate.
Yeah, Stateside Reds. We have a show 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Big up to you guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm always looking forward to rapping with you guys. I'm glad. I was glad when you said, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'll always make time for y'all once I got it." So yeah, thanks again. Stateside Reds, like, comment, subscribe, and I got some good stuff on the way for y'all. Shouts to LA, ATL, New York, Chicago, all those good places out there. And of course,
I need to get some lessons from Mikey how to put a shout out.
Yeah, shout out the whole country.
Practice.
I actually took some lessons this week on how to speak properly. So I'm trying to work my way through these podcasts and stuff like that. So thank you again, boys.
You still got the Australian accent, though. You still got the Australian accent, so it didn't work that well.
Maybe one day we'll have Big Mikey in the cave and we're doing a pod from here and we can have a table set up like throwing the cards around or something like that. And we're going to proper set up here.
Soon I'm going to make my way out there. I can't wait. Spiders and all, snakes and all.
Oh, good. All right, boys. Well, Jordan and I are getting out to the to Big Boys Cards out at Blacktown now. So I'll talk to you later. See you later. Check. Yes.
Enjoy. Cheers, all.
The Reds.
Cheers.
Goals! Oh!